So before we get rolling with this video, I just wanted to let everyone know we're still having some pretty extreme weather here in East Tennessee. Got the news that over in Cocke County they've had to evacuate because the dam broke, so that's pretty bad. My heart goes out to everybody over there. I hope everyone's okay. I played a whole lot of music in that part of the world and met a whole lot of good people, and so I just hope everyone is okay and staying safe during these times. Here at my house, it's been pretty crazy all day. We've had a lot of high winds, and 1 minute the sun's shining, the next minute the trees are bent double, the next minute it's pouring the rain. It's truly been a hell of a day. It reminded me of a meme that I saw where someone said, "Hey, all you hillbillies with the salt life sticker, this is your moment to shine." I mean, we're definitely feeling the effects of the hurricane, and I just hope that everyone is okay, and I hope everyone stays safe. And let me know in the comments if you're safe and doing well. But speaking of other memes, I saw that was pretty funny. I saw one that said, "Kamala Harris had me at complete sentences." And I said to myself, that's exactly it. When Kamala sits down to talk, it's such a breath of fresh air because she speaks in complete sentences and there's not all the hate and the resentment and the anger in her voice. And I'm just going to roll you a couple of clips from Kamala. You can see her bring the receipts yourself. And it's just good to see someone bring those receipts to Trump and do it in such a laid back, sensible way versus the chaos that Trump brings. Roll the clip.
So first of all, when it relates to anybody making less than $400,000 a year, your taxes will not go up. Your taxes will not go up. And in fact, under my plan, taxes for 100 million Americans will actually be cut, including $6,000 a year for young couples for the first year of their child's life in a tax cut, a tax credit, essentially, by expansion of the child tax credit. And why is that? Because during the first year of a young couple, of a person's child's life, they're going to need help buying a crib, buying a car seat. And we all benefit when they're actually able to do what they naturally want to do to take care of their child.
Now, I guarantee you, if they'd asked Donald Trump that same question, he would have said, well, the first thing we got to do is we got to get all the immigrants out because they're poisoning our blood. We got to get them out. They're ruining our country, and then we can fix our problems. That is what is so annoying about him. He always circles back to that talking point. It's so good and such a breath of fresh air to hear someone talk in a reasonable way and talk about lifting people up and helping people along without demonizing others in the process. I just feel like that Kamala has the perfect temperament to be president. And there was a time in our history when people would be disqualified because they would do something, like Howard Dean screamed when he got excited at a rally and they said that he didn't have the temperament. George Bush looked at his watch, they said he didn't have the temperament. So there's just been so many things over the years like that I think of instantly. But it's good to have someone who answers with the right temperament and includes everyone when she does and doesn't sit and demonize and belittle people along the way. But for whatever reason, there are people out there who still thinks that Donald Trump would be better for the economy, even though he's never explained anything. He has concepts of a plan, though. He's going to figure it out later. He couldn't figure it out in his first term. He's back asking for a rematch and still doesn't have an idea. But people want Kamala to explain things more. I don't understand it, but roll this clip.
4 years, there have been tremendous economic wins. And you've just laid out a big plan. But still, polling shows that most likely voters still think Donald Trump is better to handle the economy. Why do you think that is?
Well, here's what I know in terms of the facts. Donald Trump left us with the worst economy since the Great Depression when you look at, for example, the employment numbers.
It was during COVID, and employment was so high because we shut down the government, we shut down the country.
Even before the pandemic, he lost manufacturing jobs by most people's estimates, at least 200,000. He lost manufacturing plants. Ask the auto workers how he lost auto plants. We have grown over 20 new auto plants. He has an agenda. Let's just deal with it right now going forward, not to mention what happened in the past. He has an agenda that would include making it more difficult for workers to earn overtime, an agenda that would include cutting off access to small business loans for small businesses, an agenda that includes tariffs to the point that the average working person will spend 20% more on everyday necessities and an estimated $4,000 more a year on those everyday necessities, to the point that top economists in our country, from Nobel laureates to People at Moody's and Goldman Sachs have compared my plan with his and said my plan would grow the economy, his would shrink the economy. Some of them have actually assessed that his plan would increase inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. So the facts remain that Donald Trump has a history of taking care of very rich people. And I'm not mad at anybody for being rich, but they should pay their fair share. But tax cuts for the billionaires and the top corporations in our country, and then not really paying much attention to middle-class families. My perspective on the economy is when you grow the middle class, America's economy is stronger. And there's empirical evidence to prove my point correct.
Now, if you'll notice, anytime someone brings the receipts and points out how many jobs Trump lost, they always say, oh, well, that was during COVID. That was during COVID. Well, I would say that he absolutely bungled the pandemic. He's the guy that told us it would be over by Easter. He's the guy that told us that as soon as everything heated up, everything was going to be okay. So had he been doing a good job beforehand and not losing jobs beforehand, and then had he known how to handle the situation, and had he actually listened to the scientists instead of went out of his way to demonize them, then we wouldn't be in the boat that we were in. So I don't think that's a flex when someone tries to say, well, hold on a minute, wait a minute, it was during the pandemic, that's why he lost the jobs. He was set to lose them anyway because he was a terrible president. And Joe Biden has been an effective leader. He's got more done in 4 years than most presidents do in 8. And Kamala has been there working alongside him during all of this. She has a good record to run on. And the idea that people think Trump would be better for the economy, I'm sorry, but I'm not getting behind anyone who says I have concepts of a plan. You're going to have to do better than that for me. And you're also going to have to be willing to roll up your sleeves and fix problems instead of telling your buddies in Congress to block a bill so that you can run on the problem. And I love what Kamala has to say in this next clip. Take a look.
First of all, we do have a broken immigration system, and it needs to be fixed. And if we take a step back, months ago, some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress came together with others, proposed a border security bill. That would have put 1,500 new border agents on the border to help those hardworking border agents who are there right now working around the clock. Would have put more money into stemming the flow of fentanyl, which is killing Americans around our country and devastating communities. Would have put more resources into our ability to prosecute transnational criminal organizations, which in my career I've prosecuted. Donald Trump got word of the bill, realized it was going to fix a problem he wanted to run on, and told them to kill the bill, don't put it up for a vote. He killed a bill that would have actually been a solution because he wants to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And that's part of what needs to be addressed. And my pledge is that when elected president, if the American people will have me, I will bring that bill back and I will sign it into law. And we need a comprehensive plan that includes what we need to do to fortify not only our border, but deal with the fact that we also need to create pathways for people to earn citizenship.
So let's break this down. Donald Trump was president for 4 years. He couldn't fix our problems, and he couldn't fix the problems at the border. He didn't build the wall. Mexico didn't pay for it. None of those things that he ran on back then came true. But he ran on the fear and the hyperbole. He ran on the chaos. He ran on getting everyone scared to death of people coming to this country. And where are we in 2024? We're right there with him running on people coming into this country, running on that fear again. And when he had a chance to fix the problem, he didn't care about the problem getting fixed because that wouldn't have made him look good. It wouldn't have looked good for him for the problem to be fixed on Joe Biden's watch. If he truly cared about America and he truly thought that it was the big problem that it wouldn't matter to him. He would roll up his sleeves and go to work beside Biden to help fix the problem. And if he did that and he was a more reasonable person, he would appeal to more moderate and independent voters. But his style of doubling down on all the extremism and hanging around all the extremists and platforming those people and giving them the microphone and making them stronger, it's not bringing in new people. You know, I played in a band for over 25 years, and I can't count the times that the owners of the clubs would say to me, you know what, you're going to have to kind of spice up your set list a little bit here. You boys have been playing the same songs. I had a guy one time take me to the side. He's like, listen, you guys got a great band, but you open up with the same song every night and go into the next song. I know what songs you're going to play before you play them. And, you know, people gets tired of that. They want to see you spice it up. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll let you guys come in here early on Friday night. You can practice in my bar and learn some new songs. And we did. And the crowd enjoyed it. And we figured it out that, hey, you know what? You got to change it up. You got to learn how to change things up. You got to learn how to come up with something new. Trump hasn't learned any new songs or any new hits since 2016. He's like the bar band that just plays Sweet Home Alabama every night and acts like it's still 1974. That's what he is. So I'm looking forward to a Harris Walls presidency. I'm looking forward to that because I want to see people who can form complete sentences, and I want to see people who, when they talk about this country and talk about how they're going to fix our problems, that they don't just start and demonize people first. That's one of my biggest turnoffs about Trump is that he always starts by running people down, and he runs this country down. He runs it down too, and he runs down the idea of our country and the foundation of our country, the principles that we were built on. He runs all that down. And when I hear a man say he would terminate the Constitution anytime he sees fit, and he has to have full immunity to do his job, just let me break all the rules so I can do my job. I don't want that guy anywhere near an office. And to the ones that says she needs to explain herself more, she needs to explain her policies more. No, your boy needs to explain why he wants to terminate the Constitution a little bit more. People needs to hold his feet to the fire on that. He needs to explain why he needs full immunity and needs to be able to break all the rules in order to be able to do his job. Those are the questions that should get asked to him. And those are the questions that he shouldn't just be able to sit there and give his hyperbolic answers, but he should have to sit there and dig in and tell us why. And deep down, we all know why. We know it's because he's not an effective leader. He doesn't know how the system works. He knows nothing about what he's talking about. So the only way he can get ahead is to break every rule in the book and have no guardrails. And that's what a Trump presidency, a second Trump presidency would be. So we got to stay fired up and we got to stay ready to vote. And we got to get Kamala and Tim over that finish line. But folks, I tell you what, the wind is starting to pick up a little bit more here, and I'm starting to feel some raindrops. So I'm going to get off this porch before I get blown away. But everybody here on the East Coast, just stay safe, stay in. If you don't have to be somewhere, don't get out and drive around looking at it. That's one of the, I don't know if people in other parts of the world do that, but it's definitely a Southern thing. People like to get out in the middle of a storm and drive around and look to see what kind of damage has been done. Um, stay in for now, stay safe, and once it's all over, we can come together in our neighborhoods and our communities and help each other pick up the pieces. But I really hope everyone stays safe and has a safe weekend. And let's ride this thing out. And let's also ride this thing out to the election and have us a president in there that cares about all of us and is not just some hyperbolic prick.